You want him to go? Yeah. Go, Nelson! Hey, get out of there, kid!
I think you can win for a swim and then some eat.
That's a finish. All right, that was That's okay. Everything was fine. The whole thing they did.
yes, Mrs. Pennyfeather.
I think your music is too divine. As you know, we are entertaining the president of Bulvania. Yes. And I thought it would be simply precious if you would play something special for the president depicting our great government.
Well, how's this?
That's better. My part is a formal affair with government officials and ambassadors there. In fact, la belle monde, as our French cousins say it.
Any music you desire, I am sure we can play it.
Well, now let me see. Who will be there?
My dear, I think
Diplomats and Democrats and plutocrats would say, for the Secretary of Agriculture, what could you play, eh?
Why, this.
Generals and admirals. And that reminds me, say, what could you play for the Secretary of the Navy, eh?
Why, a hornpipe.
Oh. There, that takes in everyone, I guess. And now the dance. Yes.
Mr. Davis, that was too...
Oh, that was too divine, Mr. Davis. You incorporated everything.
The detectives are here, sir. Oh, yes.
Well. So you are the detectives?
Yes, sir, sure fire.
Never miss.
We never sleep.
If you like us,
Tell others.
and if you don't like us...
Keep it to yourself.
Well, you look like two capable men.
Sure fire.
Never miss.
Nix, that was our entrance.
Now remember, gentlemen, I want you to mingle with the guests. But nobody must know that you are detectives, not even my wife. And you must be particularly watchful for the safety of the president of Bulvania. Don't worry, Your Honor. We always get our man. Come this way, gentlemen.
Oh, pardon me, Mrs. Pennyfeather. I want you to meet Miss Irene Taylor
How do you do?
and Mr. Donald Novus.
How do you do, Miss Pennyfeather?
Two radio stars who are going to entertain for us this evening. Are you ready, Miss Taylor?
Yes, of course.
Rehearsing.
We'll try two choruses.
All right, play the first one slow and swing the second.
Okay. Boys, let's try.
Between you and me, you're sweeter than you should be. It's hard to resist you. I knew when I kissed you, I'd never be free. Between you and me, my future is plain to see. I'll always endeavor to keep you forever in my company. I've got a secret I shouldn't tell when you're around. You've got me captured, I'm in your spell, all chained and bound. But if you'll agree, my life would be heavenly. My heart would be humming and no one could come in between you and me. Oh, between you and me, you're sweeter than you should be. I knew when I kissed you I couldn't resist you and I'd never been free. Oh, it's between you and me, my future is plain to see. I'll always endeavor to keep you forever in my company. I've got a secret I shouldn't tell when you're around. You've got me captured, I'm in your spell.
Good evening, dear people. Oh, I'm so excited. In a few moments, I want you to meet the president of Bulgaria. Oh, he's just too divine. And he has the most delightful beard. Yes.
Do you know Mrs. Pennyweather?
Feather?
Oh.
Mrs. Pennyfeather.
Oh, excuse me, I always mix him up. Do you know, Mrs. Pennyfeather, as I was saying, I really do hope that your husband is appointed minister to my country, for it will help to cement the friendships of our two great nations.
Which reminds me, my dear.
My dear, I know. Our chimney needs cemented.
Oh, it's like that from Turchinovich. And then she said, what I do with it? I said, well, I come here on business, but it's here. What is
Hiya,
this
Ted.
here?
Hiya, babe. Hold this when you kid. Hold it a while, will you? Look at this one over here and do that. Don't knock her teeth out. Look, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a guy looking for trouble here. Control yourself. Come on, give me. Look at that. How are you? What do you get for the drinks?
There's absolutely no charge.
How long has this been going on?
Don't ask me. Just a moment, just a moment. It's only for the guests.
Why? Wait a minute. That's a private. Acting that way to a defenseless butler. Why, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
George, tell His Excellency the story about the man in the upper berth.
Well, you see, there was a
No,
man...
no, but wait until I leave.
Well, that's okay with me, Charlie. You know you can't get an old-timer.
Not all the time,
Thanks.
thanks.
You.
Okay, Sam.
Here's mud in your eye, Charlie.
Right down the eye, kid.
Oh, in my country, the water is stronger than that stuff.
Oh, you like it strong. Why
Mais,
didn't
naturellement.
Why didn't you say so? Let me fix you up one of my Kansas City specials.
Give it
Let's
on.
go.
Nice
All
and strong. Fix it up
Now,
now.
just take it easy. I'll take care of it now.
Give it to me, easy,
All
man.
right, a little of that.
A little of that now.
All right, I got a little of this, too.
Okay.
Don't forget
Him here.
that. Give him another one of these now.
I'll
Get it
give him a
strong.
little of this.
All right, watch out. There's a live one there. Go ahead.
Get this one in now. That's a few.
All right, we'll get this one, too.
Okay, now.
Now, wait a minute, will you? Never mind singing. We'll sing Sweet Adeline in a minute. All right.
got it set now?
Yeah, don't worry about
That's
it.
the thing.
You like it strong, don't you? Watch it out now.
Now give it to him.
I'll give it to him. I'm taking charge here, ain't I?
Give it to him good now.
Shall I put that big cherry on top?
Give him the cherry on the top.
You'll love this.
You'll get it good and strong.
You'll love this.
That cherry is pretty, isn't it?
Oh, mon Dieu, that is too much.
Well, all right. We'll take care of that.
Very good. Merci.
All right, take him away, Joe. Take him away. Hey, Toots, come here. Come here. Give it a drink, but give it good, you know. Don't worry.
Good evening. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting you. You're not the too famous Arabian Bays.
Right, not the Arabian Bays. I'm Hudson Bay, and this is my partner, Chesapeake Bay.
Hiya, babe.
Here, Toots. Knock one of these
Oh,
off.
no,
We're
no,
six
no,
up on you.
I
We're six up
never
on
drink.
Come on, have a drink.
Oh, well, if you
This is a baby
insist,
special.
Go ahead, go
Well,
ahead.
if you insist, I don't like to offend my guests.
Go right ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Happy days.
Over the sewer.
Okay.
Come on.
Give it to him. Let's get him.
Oh, that's delicious.
What's holding her up? Maybe give her the wrong stuff. What do you mean, give her
You
the wrong
give her
stuff?
the wrong stuff.
I make him, don't I? Give me
Give her
that.
the wrong
Give me
stuff.
that.
I'll prove it now.
Taste
Look.
it. Well, what'd I tell you? Here, take a good slug of that. That'll do you. The boy look good.
Music in the night that seems to tell of moments filled with sweet delight. 'Neath Cuban skies where only lovers have the right to hear the Cuban serenade. Tropic moon above that shines so willing hearts may learn to fall in love. And while they find the thrill that they've been dreaming of, they hear the Cuban serenade. Old loves, true loves, new loves, they hear the Cuban serenade. Soft lips and arms entrancing, dark eyes glancing with love's own fire, moon so far. Love songs that hearts stay young with, sung with an old guitar. Love songs that hearts stay young with, played with an old guitar.
Say when, Toots.
Well,
I thought you forgot the word there for a minute.
thank you.
Okay.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Wait a minute. Where am I? Where am I?
You're so amusing.
That reminds me, I have brought the papers for you to look into. See that everything is, everything is... Holy! I have been robbed!
Are you sure, Your Excellency?
I am positive. I had the papers here 5 minutes
Well,
ago.
now, be calm, Your Excellency. Calm yourself. I have detectives here, and I will get them at once.
Now, they're taking them out of it.
Get out.
Run after the standing up there and giving it out. Get out of here. Wait a second. Stop. Don't do
Will you
that.
You enemy of the...
My boss is outside.
Tell him we don't want any.
What's the idea? Listen, we got a dame inside.
Come quickly. Something dreadful has happened. The President has lost some valuable state papers.
Oh, he did he?
Yes. Yes, he was sitting right there.
Just a minute now, just a minute. Take it easy now.
I was sitting right there. If you find these papers, I will give you a big reward.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yes.
If you want to make people happy, just remember this one thing. Everybody likes music. Everybody likes to sing.
When a mandolin starts playing, there's a love song on every string. Everybody likes music. Everybody likes to sing.
Sure, and you know how grand you feel when you're hearing an Irish reel.
China boy will shout with glee when he sings a Chinese melody.
When the Russians drink their vodka, how their voices ring. Everybody like the music, everybody like to sing.
If you want to make people happy, just remember this one thing. Everybody likes music, and everybody likes to sing. And it isn't just for the old folks, even youth must have its fling. Everybody likes music, and everybody likes to sing. Raise your voice, let your lungs rejoice. You'll discover that it's quite delightful when you get right in the swing. Everybody likes music, everybody likes to sing.
I want you to meet the President of Bulgaria. Hey, Tua, this is Hudson Bay.
How do you do?
Don't you just love his expression?
I not only love his expression, but I love his mouth. Come here.
How dare you
like a sea robin, don't he?
Long distance, please.
Great heavens, my appointment. You know what this meant to me.
I want to talk to the Minister of War of Bulgaria.
Yes, Your Excellency, yes. I will call out the Army, Navy, Air Forces at once.
Don't call me Toots.
Well, so long, Toots. Wait a minute. What kind of a new game is that? This is no game. This is no game. Listen, we're on a big case. Now, the King of Bulgaria just lost some valuable papers. If we can find those papers, we're in for a lot of dough. Do you hear? A lot of dough. Now, all you've got to do is go out. That's all. Go out and find it. Now, Prince, that strangely interests me. It does. Now, go out and get it. Not bad. What's the idea? What's the idea? What are you doing with those papers? What are you doing with those papers? Where'd you get those papers? Come on. Where'd you get those papers?
Ah, my papers! Oh, my papers! You! Oh, I'm so happy!
Go away. Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Your Excellency! Oh, my kind friends! I am so happy. I have recovered my paper. I call off the war at once.
Gentlemen, you have done excellent work. Surefire. Never miss.
Hello, give me the Minister of War of Bulgaria. Yes, quick. Oh, I'm so happy. Hello, this is the President speaking. Call off the war at once. I shall see the President tomorrow and speak about the ambassadorship to my country.
Wait a minute, before you go any further. What about that reward, Felix?
Reward? Why, there is no reward. The papers were on me all the time.
Oh, no reward, eh?
No.
Come on, get it up, Felix, get it up.
Get it up, isn't he, funny little boy?
Come on, get it up, get it up. Come on. Direction.
So you got it, eh?
Certainly.
Give me that.
I won't. It's mine.
Give me that.
I'll give it to you when I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, yeah.
This ain't for you. Spread out. This is the surprise we have for the boys and girls. Look it. It's a moving picture machine.
And we're going to give away a bunch of these right here in this theater.
And they're absolutely free.
Yes, sir.
When's this going to happen?
You'll find the date posted in the lobby. Oh!
Here, wise guy, you tell him.
Why, certainly. A swell moving picture machine that shows pictures that really move. See? You turn a crank like this. Then you look in here.
Hot ziggity, there's me.
And that's me.
And me. Boy, am I good. Pretty neat, eh? And listen, with every machine there are 2 sets of pictures. 2 different subjects. So don't miss that special date when we're going to give them away.
And if you don't get a moving picture machine free here, you can still get one for nothing.
Tell them about it.
That's the surprise. All boys and girls who attend the special showing will find out.
And more good news. A picture of the three of us to every boy and girl who attends this special performance.
Not bad, eh? That's us.
So long.
Toodaloo.
You're going over the Philippines now. What's the name of the picture you're going to do over there?
Well, prior to that, I don't know. It's Philippine money to be deposited here, you know. But we just recently finished a 1-hour comedy travelogue called Kook's Tour. It's very cute.
Cute title.
Oh, yes, it's a funny picture. Now, we decided that there were many travelogues, and very interesting ones. But that's all they were. But coupling us and subtly showing the background in which we were working, you would show the people the Grand Tetons of Idaho and Jackson Lake and all that, you see. So that subtly they were seeing a travelogue, but they were seeing, for instance, how not to launch a boat. The way we launched ours in that thing was murder. And how not to fish if you want to catch fish. In other words, Larry, who was never even got a bite, but every time he threw his pole over, that round ball that he threw, the float, that our dog would jump over, grab the float, and bring it back. See? Never got a chance. You'll find he got so disgusted toward the end of the film. He had one of those hats on, a round hat, and there must have been 40 lures, fish lures, caught into his hat, you know. Got so mad he threw his hat overboard, and by God, the hat caught 5 fish to finish. So
We've, sorry.
No, I say then it showed the all the geysers, you know, and the whole thing. And we did a gag where when the geysers are going up in the air, we brought a thing out of our little trailer, set it on the ground, a bunch of crazy wheels on it. We turn the handle like that, then you cut to the geyser, it would go up. Then we turn it back this way, you cut to the geyser, it goes down, as though we were controlling it, you see. Until a ranger came along and we beat it.
How much, did you ever produce the picture, or did Stooges as a whole produce the picture and have final say over everything that went on?
One. That was done about 2 years ago, called Kook's Tour. It's a very funny picture, too. Film is made for TV. In fact, it's at one of the studios now being looked at. It's a 1-hour film, less time out for commercials. Film. You see, I'll give you one instance. Of course, we had the background of the finest country in Idaho, and many of the others, Snake River and all that stuff, we were fishing. And we had a dog with us. Our producer's dog is a black Labrador retriever. And every time Larry threw his line out, the dog would jump off the boat and go get his float and bring it back. Never got a chance with a thing. Finally, he got so disgusted. Oh, incidentally, he had this hat with about 12 lures stuck in the hat, you know, like a real fisherman. He got real mad. He says, I'm going to sleep, the devil with this. Threw his hat overboard and sat down, and about 2 minutes later, the hat cost 8 trout. Oh, that's funny. Well, there's a lot of funny stuff in it, too.
Has it been shown on TV?
No, there's one place we gave them permission to do a few things. Cartridge. They've got some sequences on there in cartridge. gets me the catalog. A 10-foot reel of film, $900. I'm repricing everything because we need the money over here.
We got
backed up.
Yeah.
They saw when they were over to the house. I just can't get caught up.
Yeah.
And
so
I know.
I don't think we sent you one. That's why we brought it, because it's a nice little review of the film. It's private screenings. It's a
Mike brought it out to my house and showed me a week or so ago.
We think it's a very nice film, right?
Well, the idea behind it was all right, but we couldn't do nothing with it. We couldn't sell it.
Yeah. Which is a shame. I thought you'd like to have that too. That's nice little pictures and stuff from it. It's just Norman wrote the rundown on it, I guess. It's there.
To get cigars at the market, you can't ask people to do that. So I mean, she gets me what I need when she's home, and then I take care of the dogs, and we shack up at the house, and I go out and sit on the front porch, and I can't see the people across the street. What are you doing?
Pretty wild. See, that should be right. 16. Right. Sir, twice a month. We're good friends. We've known him for about the last 5 years. He's been doing his cartoon voices lately and stuff for a lot of the Saturday morning kid shows. And he enjoys it, but he would really like to get back to work too, you know. He on something TV or something like, you know.
Well, he used to do a lot of work with Benny.
Right, Jack Benny.
He always did he's a stage manager or something.
Right. Yeah.
You know what you're doing? Oh, you're waiting for light to give you a signal?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to beep it. It's that. Well, no, I have to wait for the flash. There we go. Smile. There we go. I'll take one more. One more to make sure.
Fat Mike. I'm Fat Joe. I don't know where. It's a coffee man.
I got some pictures that we can lay out here for display if you like, because nobody will rip them off.
For what? You don't need a display. I wouldn't put nothing out.
Did you sign?
Rainy.
I have them large up small pictures, and when they blow them up in a small picture, they brings up the top.
Would somebody do it in the back room someplace when nobody's looking?
It's a paper negative, that's why.
I'll get you some. I'll get you some ones you can see.
So we had a portable in our room, and so we used to crawl under our bed, and we'd sneak on and turn on the Stooges and watch them anyway, you know?
Well, there was a lot of controversy
about the violence. Yeah.
But you see, you got to remember, these were made for theater.
Right.
And not 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. These were made for children who go to the matinees.
Right.
7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Right.
And they knew better.
Right.
They knew that you didn't really get hit with hammers. But a lot of these people sit their kids in front of the TV to get them off their back for a while. They don't care what they're watching. So the kid sees something and he turns and pokes his kid sister in the eye.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, really.
Monkey sees, monkey does.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true. But no, we helped him with it, you know, because I used to work there at the theater as a projectionist, and we helped him with it, and yeah, that's true.
It's the easiest way.
Yeah. Look at.
No, it wasn't my personality.
I see what you mean. They didn't write it for you.
Other guys, that stuff is to be done.
Yeah.
Things that I did in them things. You could have got a busboy to do. No, I mean, with no acting experience or theatrical experience,
You know,
Because
you
it
fall
really
down the
wasn't-
steps and the
Yeah.
guy hits you with the egg, and
Yeah.
your wife leaves you, and you say, "Wait, honey," and that's it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But
Yeah.
they made a lot of them. They made a lot of them there. Owning half the films, but
Right.
we own half, 50%
Right.
with the studio after everything comes off. I think the best one was Around the World in a Day.
Yeah.
Because it had a good storyline to begin with.
Right.
And we were merely in a bungling way trying to copy the storyline.
Right.
Where the other things were like, the most money we made was Hercules.
That's what I thought.
But the reason we made so much more Hercules is about a year before we made Hercules, or 2 years before.
Right.
Steve Reed came out with the Harry Levine. He bought the American rights and then spent twice as much as the picture cost on publicity.
I don't think film history has treated the Three Stooges poorly. I don't think film history has treated the Three Stooges at all. They've been ignored, almost completely ignored, until just the last few years.
Three Stooges are just funny. They're very funny. It's hard to explain why something is funny. The violence is a big thing, although it's not violence in the way that it is in, let's say, Starsky and Hutch or something, where somebody gets shot and they're dead. In the Three Stooges, when Curly gets shot in the pot, you see sparks and he runs away, and that's funny.
I've liked the Three Stooges ever since I was a little kid. I think possibly they're the unsung heroes of the 30s comedies. Everybody talks about the Marx Brothers, and they were brilliant in their own right, but I think the Stooges hold their own against all the great comics, Rich Brothers, Marx Brothers, and everything. It's a strange sort of humor. It's slapstick, very violent slapstick, but and I think with Curly involved in it, which is why they show this thing here specifically with Curly, he has a certain fun and an interest to it that makes all the violence seem funny.
I think they're funny. I mean, today they're coming back because they're so violent. Violent and gore and everything is really a big part of films today. And they're very relevant. They were ahead of their time. They're not intellectual. They don't try to be like Woody Allen or Mel Brooks or anybody. They're just the most basic form of comedy there is. And they're just...
Absolutely.
You don't have to think. You just go in there and you just let loose. And they're really a good unwinding.
I like Larry a lot because
I like Larry too.
I thought his hair was
keeps coming back. He never loses it. No matter how much gets pulled out, he always comes back with more hair. That guy is amazing.
Gives us a chance to be kids again. What other way is there to be a kid than to see the Stooges?
Right?
Three Stooges are like, number one, I was not allowed to see the Stooges when I was a child. My mother felt that they were too violent. I don't believe this. There was never any blood. I mean, how can a person be hurt with no blood at all?
Well, Ted, I worked with him previous to that up in Albany when he was walking around with a dog. And he brought a dog on, and the dog did nothing. You know what I mean? He threw the jokes at the dog all between there. And he was a terrific comedian. Of course, he was strictly talk, you know. He didn't do anything but talking. And he wore the crushed hat and things like that. He was a very funny man.
Don't tell me what to do.
You guys are the actors now. You two guys.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Hold it. Let's do the routine that we did.
Hey,
in
hold
the
the cage and let us out. What happens here? Come on.
Mousy, wait a minute. I said, let's do the routine we did in Azusa.
Oh,
Understand? Yeah.
That's what no wonder I feel lousy. I ate that last night for dinner.
Take it easy.
What's the
kid.
matter?
You know, you're all right.
Whack him. Me. I ain't gonna hit you. Whack him.
Whack him? I'll whack you.
Whack him. What do you mean you're gonna whack him? What's the matter? Hey, let me hit. Do it again. That hurt. Once more. That hurt. Oh, he's got guts, this guy. Don't start hitting. Don't hit me around.
I got guts.
Wait a minute. What happened to these guys?
I'm out of the business.
Out of it. You're in it now, baby.
Yeah.
You used to stop
Mousy, remember we used to sharpen the things and we used to go like this?
Wait a minute, I can't see.
Out of Northwestern University, I was playing piano, and he just pulled me out of the orchestra, and made a stooge out of me. And Shemp was in Ted's act, and a big guy called Lou Warren, and Shemp Howard. Oh, marvelous! That was one of the funniest of all the Stooges. Shemp was. He was great.
When I came in, I joined him in 1931. There was a show called Crazy Quilt with Ted Healy, Fanny Bryce, and Phil Baker. And Dick came in, and I walked in, and Dick knew him very well. As I walked in, I didn't know Ted. I never knew that type of comedy, so he gave me a bang in the head. And I jumped on him, bit his ear, and grabbed his nose. He says, "You're great. Get in line. You're hired." That was my start with Ted in those days. Oh, wow. Big man. He was about 5'11" or 6 and 190 pounds. And when he hit you, look out, you know it.
Well, I was working in a club here called Charlie Foy's Supper Club.
That's right.
And I worked there. I was there 12 years. And Healy came in one day and he said to me, "You want to work for me?" I said, "What is your name?" You know, he said, "Ted Healy." And he says, "You'll be one of my stooges." He says, "You look like just the right guy to be." I said, "Fine, Ted." You know, and I started to work for him. And then I lived in Santa Monica. He rented a house there, and I lived in Santa Monica with him. And then Mousy came out from Washington, D.C., and Dick. And we formed it again, the Stooges. And
He called it the New Super Stooges, right?
Right.
Ted Healy, the New Super Stooges.
Yeah.
Truth.
And then he signed a contract at MGM, and we signed a contract there too. We were there at MGM with him on the contract, the three of us. And he called it Ted Healy's Three Stooges. We made pictures, and then we went out on a tour, and they flew a banner one time in Low State. We worked at the Low State, New York City, on Broadway. And they flew a big banner of us, Ted Healy's Three Stooges. And the other Stooges were at the Strand Theater. Do you remember that, Dick?
I remember.
Yeah, and they were at the Strand, see? And we drew a lot of people, a tremendous amount of people. And I called Ted Healy, and he said, "I'm very proud of you guys." He says, "Very proud that we did so great." We had talent.
Oh,
see?
come on.
No, we did a vaudeville act. Dick played an accordion, he played piano, I played a harmonica, we sang.
And it was a good sight comedy stooge act, but we outdid them. Here's what we used to do. Sometimes we did the hitting, the poking, but we used to do funny bits with the instruments.
Right.
Of what they did with the smacking and the poking in the eye, we did with instruments. Like he'd take a banjo and crack it across my head, you know.
Right.
Or he'd be playing the accordion, and Dick would be doing this. Accordion, he'd go, oh, and we say, "What's the matter?" He says, "Pinching my stomach." Remember that? Accordion,
Dick would
pinching
say
my
that. It
stomach.
was a big laugh. Here's another incident that once happened with Ted Healy. We went to Bakersfield one day and checked into a motel. And while he's signing in his name on the register, a cockroach came right over the register, and he says, "Check me out. Come on, we're going." The clerk says, wait a minute. He said, "This is a nice motel, sir." He says, "What?" He says, No. He says, "I don't mind you having cockroaches in the hotel, but when they come down to see what room I'm in, check me out," he says.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Boy, he was a clever guy, Ted.
Yes. Very great help. My brother Jack was a genius, and he'd worked with Max Sennett for many years. He had his own studio at the age of 19, producing like 35, 40 films a year. And this was, I had help like him, and I had all kinds of good people. We have a studio full of very talented people. Wardrobe, just tell the wardrobe department what you see, and then half an hour later, they'll have had taken it all out of stock, anything that resembles what I asked for. And then the director would okay it if he was happy with it. We worked hand in hand. Del Lord
was a very helpful director and a very knowledgeable director. But get men that did parts like Emil Sitka. Emil came in, he hadn't done very much. And I found this fellow versatile enough to play almost anything you want. Almost anything. And Elwood Ullman was writing little articles for magazines and going around trying to sell them. And I saw the talent in this man's work, and I liked it. And I teamed him up with a man by the name of Giebler, Al Giebler, who was one of Max Sennett's top comedy writers. And they had offices upstairs in my building. And they worked out very well, the fledgling and the old nest warmer, you know.
And when I first became a cameraman in 1933, my first assignment was to photograph the Three Stooges. I knew very little about them. I knew very little about many things, but nevertheless, I met this wonderful group of people, and they made life very pleasant for me, I must say.
About 1934, about the time they started shooting the Stooges, I was promoted to first assistant. And I was the first assistant until I left Columbia and became a director of photography later.
When I was at Columbia, under contract then, doing the Westerns, they asked me to come over and do some Three Stooges things, and the next thing I knew I was doing, I don't remember the name of the picture, but I did work with the boys there, and I used to do more falls with them, and we used to really, we'd get thrown up against the wall, we'd go over tables, we'd go over desks, chairs and everything, and they always try to figure out pieces of business for them. And that's why they liked me, because, you know, I was a good acrobat, see, and good slapstick comedy, and that was my forte, and I could help them, you know, in different ways, and I could tell them how to fall so they wouldn't get hurt. I was the guy who ended up getting hurt because they'd all pile up on me. You know? Well, Jules White was, you know, he's a producer, and he would direct some of them, and he was a real hard taskmaster. Taskmaster, you would say, and he'd say, "Come on, guys, you know, give me a little more of that and this and that," and next thing you knew, they were knocking themselves out, and they were really working hard. They were terrific. They were just fabulous. I don't know how they were able to take those falls. None of them were acrobats. They didn't know how to do it. I was the only guy that knew how to take the falls in there, and I tried to help them. In fact, I remember one time when Shemp was working in there, and I said, "Shemp, I'll double for you, you know, and I'll do the thing." And it was one of those things where you had to get on the floor and roll around and roll around and roll around. The way they shot the camera thing made it look like I was spinning around, you know, and because Shemp couldn't do anything like that. In fact, the minute he got on the floor, he says, "Oh, my back hurts." He says, "I better get up." But he says, "Do it for me, will you, Frank?" Because I did all those slapstick things, you know, with him. And the other two guys, Larry and Mo, was just terrific. They could do anything. Of course, they'd always end up with bruises and things. But they were funny. They were just natural funny guys.
Well, I recall distinctly, and the one sequence I shall never forget was on one, and I think it was about, it could have been the early part of 1937, it could have been earlier than that, but it took place in a large restaurant, or the kitchen of a nightclub. The boys were cooks, as I recall, and I remember distinctly Curly there with a huge tureen, or a container of soup, and they were baking bread. They had pies. They had everything. Well, they got into some kind of a furor with either management. I don't remember the storyline, but the upshot of it wound up, as you can guess, they were throwing these things back and forth all over the place. And, of course, a lot of it came my way. A lot of it got all over the camera. And before it was over, why, it was about 4 inches of stuff on the floor, and you can imagine what it smelled like. But my concern was that they were the pies and the bits of food were all over the lens, and I had to clean them off.
But they did some funny things. A lot of them was throwing of the pies. And I remember Curly got it in his ear, I believe, and he had a real problem. It was a cherry pie or something in the pit set, in his ear.
Gosh, Columbia had such a great, wonderful stock company at that time. There were great, wonderful, beautiful people. I'm very fortunate to have known most of them and worked with a lot of them.
Joe Besser, again, was an individual who had his own, well, he had a wonderful face. He had a pixie face, I would say, and he had certain mannerisms which was very much Joe Besser. Nobody else had these certain expressions that he would use. Oh, he'd go like this to somebody, and he would say, oh, you, or something, and he would, and he was a very sweet man off. I don't remember ever seeing him other than charming and very pleasant. I don't remember his having a bad disposition in any way.
Yeah, I remember that Jules was a very effective kind of a producer and pulled a lot of strings. The thing that was interesting about that movie is that there was an imminent strike coming up with Screen Actors Guild, and Jules called me and said, look, we can't do any more shooting after Monday. Do you think you could finish a movie on Saturday and Sunday? I said, you're kidding. 2 days? He said, it's all we got. Monday, there's no more shooting. So I got my writers together a week before, and we sat down and we just banged out a script, and we rehearsed it, and we got together at the Fox Movietone Studios in Manhattan, and we filmed Stop, Look, and Laugh, the whole picture in 2 days. I've been doing lots of voices at Hanna-Barbera, and among the series we did was the Robonic Stooges. And I did the part of Moe. I really couldn't imitate Moe. I don't know anybody who could. But they said that the timbre of my voice sounded kind of like Moe, and I began to use words like joik and boyd and the goyles, and so it kind of carried on. It sort of made it, and coupled together with the cartoon, I guess it fit.
Curly Joe DeRita called me up one afternoon. He says, I'd like to have you come over to me and have a nice talk. And I said, what about it? He said, I'll tell you when you get over here. And so I went over there, and he said, I was thinking about doing the new Three Stooges, going out on the road, and I'm quite sure we can get the bookings. I said, well, that would be nice, you know, to get away. You know, we're all semi-retired. We can go on the road and have a few laughs, you know. Well, at this age, have some fun. So he said, who would you advise to be the third man? And I started thinking, I said, this is a true story. He had a guy from Vegas come down here that looked as much like a stooge as that painting. Looked nothing like a stooge. Didn't look like one. So I said in my mind, the guy was a straight man in burlesque. Can a straight man be a stooge? You can't. So I didn't say anything. You keep your mouth shut and listen. And we even took pictures. This is true. We even took pictures. And I didn't, in my mind, I didn't say anything. I didn't like the way it looked. It didn't look funny to me. Anyway, the guy went back to Vegas. He said, no, I don't want any part of it. And I said, why'd you ask me in the first place? We could have gotten Frank Mitchell. I said, before he went through all this pictures and all this trouble. I said, yeah, we could have gotten Frank Mitchell already. I said, I think we could have. I called him. So he says, call him. And I called Frank, and we had
all kinds of names.
And we went up to Joe DeRita's house, sat down and talked it over, and we started rehearsing. Before you know it, some dates came in, and we made a tour out of it. We loaded. In fact, we took pictures and everything, and we were on the verge of taking the guy who does all the sound effects when the boys were together. But something happened. We didn't. That we were going to, but we didn't take him.
You tell it. You remember it better than I do.
Well, then we packed his big. He had a big Nash station wagon. Curly Joe did, and we packed our stuff with it, loaded to the gills. Just barely the three of us can get in there. to make a trip from here to outside of Boston. And we took our time and went, and we opened our place outside of Boston. The next day, we went down to the rehearsal at the grounds there, the park, you know, and there was a tremendous crowd waiting for us. They were suspicious about the new Three Stooges, who they are, what they look like, and everything. But the way we were signing autographs, they had us tangled up with the other three, you know what I mean? But they knew we weren't the three that made the pictures and all, but with Curly Joe. And it was tremendous, and we signed a lot of autographs, and we felt good. It made us feel good to go out to do a show. The whole thing is, as Dick and Sammy and I would know, this whole thing was a conglomeration of making people happy out there with this type of humor, which was an enormous thing in those days. And it was just a thing that, in other words, kids grew up with us, like as we know today, and even the grown-ups today would realize that, because, and that type of comedy is no longer around. But I think doing it the proper way today, I think it would be a big hit. Anywhere you go. In other words, I think if we had the strength, I don't know, if the three of us had the strength, we could do it. That's right. And make them laugh.
What were they like between takes, do you remember?
Well, Larry was the outgoing, friendly, warm one, and Mo was always kind of busy. You know, I always felt that he was keeping the accounts and figuring out how much money was coming in. And Curly was nothing. He just disappeared. He was really shy. He would blush when you talked to him. I don't think he said one word to me out of script, you know. I mean, when we weren't on camera. He said his dialogue and whatever he had to say and do, and the minute they said cut, he disappeared.
I want you to know that Mo and I had a long relationship in those 30 years. There's so many things that he would disclose to me about family, and I would about mine. He knew about my family and so on. A lot of things were on a confidential basis.
Well, Jules frequently used animals, frequently gave the boys wives or girlfriends, and frequently used children. McCullum and I seldom did. I had one disastrous experience using a dog in a Hugh Herbert two-reeler, and that kind of prejudiced me against using animals. They could cause you a lot of delay and trouble. I can recall only one Stooge two-reeler in which they had wives. That was Pardon My Clutch. I guess McCullum and I just didn't think in those terms. If there was a theme discernible in ours, I haven't thought about it until just recently, but it might have been the damsel in distress thing. I was a believer in strong storylines, and of course, damsel in distress is a made-to-order storyline. The girl is in trouble, the Stooges help her, and they triumph in the end. That certainly was the case in Squareheads of the Round Table. In the Westerns we did, which are my favorites. I always loved parodying Westerns. Nell, the saloon girl with the heart of gold, was the heroine who needed the Stooges, and they helped her. Out West was one of those, and I think we did another Western whose title I can't remember, in which Christine McIntyre was the damsel in distress. So I guess that was the closest thing to a theme that McCullum and I had in our Stooge two-reelers.
It was fun doing, and it was fun working with Shemp especially.
Well, they were steeped in the old silent school, accent on visual gags. I had served my apprenticeship as a sound technician with Frank Capra, Leo McCary. I was a sound man on The Awful Truth, and with Howard Hawks on what I insist upon regarding as a classic, 20th Century, which starred John Barrymore and Carole Lombard. And I kind of took them as my role models, and I think it made me try to achieve something a little different from the silent comedy ideal of
fast, incessant action and continuous violence. I think it made me put a little more emphasis on story in two-reelers.
How about the wristwatch bit?
Yeah, the wristwatch bit.
Oh.
You remember that, Dick?
Yeah.
Tell
You
him.
explain it, Dick.
Tell him the wristwatch bit.
Say, what time is it?
You had 3 wristwatches on
Yeah,
you.
I had 3 wristwatches on me. You say, what time is it? Well, he says, well,
I said,
what do you do?
What's the idea of wearing 3 wristwatches?
Well, I take the one in the middle, I divide that by the one on the end, and then I multiply it by the one on this side.
And this one stopped at 4
And
o'clock?
this one stopped
and this
at
one
4.
gained 15 minutes every 4 hours?
That's right.
And then he said, what time is it?
What time is it?
And you took a watch out
And
of
I
the...
took out a watch
out
out
of
of here.
the...
And I
You
said,
said it's about 3 o'clock, and I go,
right.
boom.
That's right.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
come on.
that was it.
Well, Stooge fans all over the country seem to know it. I once had a phone call from a young man in Tampa, Florida, who asked me some questions about the Stooges and then repeated the famous Razbanya routine syllable for syllable perfectly. Elwood, you remember it, don't
Sure,
you?
absolutely. It was very funny.
All right. You give me the cue, and I'll give you the Razbanya routine right from the script.
So you want me to start?
You're the governor. That was played by Vernon Dent. You're Vernon Dent now. What do you say?
What priceless gifts does a Raja bring?
Mo says, we shall see. And he crosses over to Curly and sits down, and he says, Maha. Curly says, aha. Then Mo says this famous double talk routine, Razbanya yata benefuci, atimini haraya, dat picklehead askitaski, watcha ferdzik, you got it. And it has tickled Stooge fans. Can I tell you the way it came about? The script is credited to Clyde Bruckman, but it was Moe's routine. Where it came from, I don't know. But we called Clyde Bruckman in, and Moe dictated it to him, syllable by syllable, and that's what's in this script.
Wasn't that the same routine where Curly is doing the knife thrower?
The knife throwing routine, yes,
hilarious.
indeed. That was Bruckman's.
Put a bandage around his eyes to make it tougher. And he faces the audience with the knife. He's going to throw it out in the audience.
That's right, the knife throwing routine.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
I saw it on the stage, and the boys used to do this on the stage.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there it is. Close shot, a bartender. The knife sticks in a keg an inch from his nose. That brings back the good old days, huh?
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
you. Those moments were priceless.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the one about the plumbers was my favorite. There's really a lot of laughs, and hearty laughs. And everybody went along with that. And the audiences, they never failed, and they knocked themselves out. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful for gags, if I do say so. You were fooling with water and pipes and a lot of hard hits and so on.
you love birds. Okay, now why don't you come in here too, honey, and let him interview us.
Okay.
Can you ask the good questions to Mike?
I don't know. I hope we do.
Yeah. Excuse me. Hold hands, you lovebirds. Yeah. Now cut it out. What do you guys want to know? Come on, don't get. All right. I happen to live in this house here, and my name is Emil Sitka.
You're a Sitka character, are you?
Of course I am. I mean, who else would I be? I'm not Mo or something. Hey, by the way, you have a resemblance to Mo Howard.
Yeah, I played him at the convention.
No kidding. How about that? And who's the beautiful girl here?
I don't know. I don't see it.
I should like to know her. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. This is delicious. So now, what would you like to ask me since you're here on my lawn?
Oh, you were in the Stooges films.
I think so. I think I remember that, yeah.
Not sure.
No, not quite sure, no, because they drove me wacky.
Oh, yeah. What you did with them, do you remember?
The first one, you don't recall Halfwit's Holiday? Come on, check it out.
Yeah, I remember. Your drink, madam.
No, yeah. Dinner is served, madam. Now, what else would you like to know? I know you came a little ways. You came like.
You were in Whodunit. What did you play, Mr. Goodrich?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that, huh? Yeah, what did I do in it? Got you, didn't I, huh?
I remember the coon.
I said, oh, my God. I mean, my life is threatened. I live here, down here, and I'm aboard of the thing, and whatever the heck it is, they tied me up and made me listen to singing commercials. Can you believe that? Singing commercials. I thought I'd die. I'd die. Yeah, don't laugh. It's so funny. So anyway, what else do you want to know? Something wise.
Okay.
Yeah. How much money have you got? I'll ask you.
I got, what would you rather have? Shoe-filled dollar bills or 2 socks of 5?
Huh? I think I'll just take you and let you work around here. Okay, what else would you like to know?
How many roles did you play in The Outlaws Is Coming?
Outlaws Is Coming. I played all those buffaloes. Did you see a whole herd there?
Yeah, I did.
That was me. Every one of them, yeah.
How long did it
Oh, as long as possible, it seems like. No, they,
About this long?
No, the short ones they made in 4 days.
Oh, 4 days.
4 days, yeah. And, of course, the long one, it was up to 4 weeks. And so, which one are you most particularly, curious about?
See, I like, you played Uncle Phineas. In Gents
Yeah. Uncle Phineas, yeah, that was in Gents with, Sense, yeah, that's right, yeah. I sure made a mistake coming in on that family, didn't I? Uh-huh.
Where'd you get that snazzy hat?
Oh, some guy died, you know. Nobody knows who he was or anything. So
It's right in the backyard.
I might as well pick it up. Tell he was shot at, though. See that? Yeah. How don't you like Uncle, not Uncle Flint, but Old Man Flint?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and all gummed up or Bubble Trouble? Are you well? Old Man Flint, now, whoever's about like that. Hey, you scallywag, I'll have you out of here. And you, old hag, what are you following me around for, huh? I'm tired of looking at you.
I'm a man.
Oh, that's beautiful. She's beautiful. Oh, would you do that to me? Make me look like that. Make me look like her. I'll give you the whole house. The cat house, the house, any house. Why don't you come on?
Here, take it, family.
Get out of here.
The family.
I hope
I feel strong.
Yeah. You made a monkey out of me. Yeah. But oh boy, I'll tell you, this girl here, she's gonna stay with me. You go on home. Goodbye, all of you. Bye. That's it, cut.